So why don't we go ahead? Actually, it's been recording. So joke's on me. So we can go ahead and jump into it because it's officially 4:30. Um, Justin, let's introduce ourselves, and then I'll take this one. I know you're going to be doing the one this evening, and then I'll walk everyone through the order of the program. How about that?
Sounds good. Um, Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jostin Grimes. I am the Senior Manager of District Partnerships on the West Coast. So I am Brittney's counterpart, really connecting with school districts and schools to get students using and teachers to using our content. I'm most importantly trying to become more news literate. I'm a former educator as well. I taught in Atlanta before moving to Los Angeles, and I've been here for the last 6 years. So really excited to meet some new faces and share with you all today. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Justin. And I am Brittney. As Justin said, we are counterparts. We are essentially the same person, just he's a male and I'm a female. I'm joking, but we do the same thing, supporting and building those partnerships. He's on the West, as he stated, and I am have the pleasure of serving the East Coast. I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. I am a former a life science educator. I taught biology for about 8 years. And then I also taught anatomy and physiology, and just finished a doctoral degree in education. So I am super excited to use everything that I learned to support educators like you. Um, Amy, you'll see I just put in the chat that I would love to chat with you more. I am working to support districts and educators in Illinois and throughout the East. So, would love to chat with you, and we'd love to chat with anyone else who is might be interested in one of our free partnerships. So, let's dive in and tell you about our resources. Uh, we are from the News Literacy Project. If you are just hearing about us, awesome, because you are some of my favorite people to talk to. I love to share about NLP. And I know, Justin, you were sharing a bit about NLP, but we were founded in 2008 by a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist named Alan C. Miller. He still works very closely with NLP today. And we began as a classroom program in just 3 states. We were in DC, we were in Chicago, and we were in New York. And in those 3 states, we started, just doing push-in support, and have evolved to what we are today. And our flagship, most comprehensive learning platform is called Checkology. And as you see on the screen, hopefully you're seeing my slides. Let me know if you aren't. You encounter Your students will encounter opportunities to practice and to learn. A lot of the learning takes place, of course, in all of our resources, but our lessons are specifically designed to teach your students about news literacy topics. And then we have opportunities to extend that learning through practice. And they are in the form of our missions, challenges, and exercises. All of these resources are housed again within Checkology, which is our browser based virtual learning platform. That means there's nothing for your students to download, nothing for you to download, and everything is contained right there in that browser. You also can use your single sign on. So, whether it's Microsoft or Google, we are able to use that so that your students can access our resources. We have about 20 lessons. Our newest lesson is a lesson about algorithms, and it is phenomenal if you get a chance to check it out. I highly recommend it. Features one of our colleagues, Alexa. Um, my colleague Jostin is dropping in the chat a resource page, and I'll show you what that looks like in a moment, but it's got links to everything that we are describing to you today. And so, what I'm going to do now is take you out into Checkology to sign up and to get to experience the platform for yourselves. So, I'm going to exit out of this. And the first thing I'm going to do is show you what that resource document looks like. So the resource document contains contact information for Justin, for myself, for our colleague. We're really a team of three. Aaron, who manages all of our state partnerships. So if you are from a state department of ed, we'd also love to work with you. You can reach out to me or Justin. We're happy to connect you, or you can reach out to Erin directly. Her contact information is on the document. That first link you see, the first bullet is to register for Checkology. So let's click that together, and it's going to take you directly to our Checkology landing page. Now, I had to do a little workaround because, of course, I already have an account under every email address that I have. So I went to an incognito page because I'm going to show you what it looks like to create an account. I've got to trick the browser a little bit. But this gives me an opportunity to also show you how to get to Checkology from our landing page. So let's do it. You will find our resources if you go to newslit.org under For Educators, and you can hover or you can click. If you hover, you can just go down to Checkology Virtual Classroom. It's the third option. When you click that, it's going to take you to our landing page, which you just saw, and you will want to click Register because you're new. Once you click register, you want to go to educators because you are an educator and you're going to use this with your students. You're going to select your school type. I'll say public because I worked in a public school, your country, and I'm in the United States. And then you want to enter the zip code of your building. It's essential that you enter the zip code of your building, and I'll show you why momentarily. I am going to select a school near where I live. Um, we'll pick Aiken because I used to work there, and we'll click next. Now, here is where you can use your single sign-on. You can click that register with Google or register with Microsoft. I am going to click register using email, and I'm going to pretend that I am creating a new account until it stops me. So I'm going to put my name, give it a password, confirm my password, and then put my email. Once I do that, I can go to register and I am in. So let me show you from my account what it looks like once you're a registered user. I'm going to show you what that dashboard looks like. Are there any questions so far while we wait on the computer to load?
Nope, we're all good to go.
Okay, thank you so much, Justin.
Mhm.
And we want to answer your questions. So if you have a question, please drop it down in the chat. We are happy to help. So what you are looking at right now is the dashboard, and the dashboard is where you will find all of your classes that you've created. Now, looking at mine, I've got a ton of classes because I do demos for a living. But you probably just have a plus sign, which is fine. That means that you are ready to create your first class. So you're going to click that plus sign, and we'll enter a class title. I'm going to call this one Sandbox 1. And it looks like someone needs that resource page. Uh, oh, Justin, I see what's happening. I think you are sharing it just to the hosts and panelists. It is so
Oh,
easy
that's,
to do.
I'm sorry, because only my choices right now are the host and panelists. My apologies.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. Okay. Well, that is my mistake. My apologies. It should be there for everyone now. We'll get that fixed for you for next time, Justin.
Thank you, Britt.
Um, Of course. So student type, I'm going to say high school because 10th grade has always had my heart. I love 10th graders. And for subject, we'll say civics. Why not? The next thing you'll see is course lock. Now, of course, you could hover over the question mark and read the explanation, but what fun is that? That's what I'm here to do. Course lock is a really cool feature. And what it does is it forces your students to go in the order that you have prescribed when you built your course, right? So you're building this class, you're going to put a course of study in your class, and you're going to put those the lessons, missions, challenges, and exercises in an order, right? And so turning on course lock is going to force your students to work in that order. There are obviously benefits to having it on as well as off, and it just depends what works the best for you. If you click open advanced settings, you'll see some of the other settings that we have that can allow you to customize the experience on Checkology for your students and yourself. You'll see our pre and post assessment. It is toggled on as a default. I highly recommend that you leave it on because this is going to allow you to collect rich data that's going to help not only drive your instruction, but you can share it with your administrators. If you need extra data for your evaluations, I know how that is. So there's a easy way just to gather some data for your students. And then you'll see this one-to-many lesson mode option. Now, one-to-many lesson mode is a game changer. This transforms the Checkology experience from being one-to-one with just a student and their individual laptop. It's a very individual learning experience, no real opportunities to talk, which is appropriate for sometimes, but sometimes you want your kiddos to chat and you want to drive the flow of the lesson. And that is what one-to-many mode is for. So if you turn that on, you can select the lesson you'd like to use it with. Okay, I'm going to select Be Health Informed, for examples. Now, what this does is when my students go into Be Health Informed, we're going to do it all as a class. They will see on their screen a message to pay attention to the teacher because I am going to project the video portions of the lesson, and then students will be able to answer the questions on their devices. So you are still capturing that valuable data. I told you, game changer, definitely a game changer. And you can do that for as many lessons as you'd like, or you can turn it off altogether. Now, I told you also that it was essential that you put in the zip code of your building. And that is because you can add a co-teacher. So you can select any teacher with an active Checkology account in your building. You will share students. You can both view and evaluate student work as well. This is a great way to do some team collaboration, especially if you are a librarian or you are an intervention specialist and you push in. Well, just create a class and have the classroom teacher be your co-teacher so that you can tag team and get those kiddos news literate. Once I'm done creating all of, modifying all of my settings, I'm going to click Create Class, and I've done it. Now, I always recommend that you add a course before you add students, but for the purposes of today, I'm going to show you how to add students first. So you're going to click that green button there, and you will have two options. You can give your students a link on your LMS that will allow them to just go straight to your classroom, or you can add your students directly. I recommend for our older students, you would want to do this link because it's mess free, right? It's so easy, low touch. You just post it once and it's there for your students to access. If you teach younger students, and our lessons are appropriate for kiddos between 5th and 12th grade. So if you're teaching some of those younger kiddos, you can actually add them one by one here. And when you click review and confirm, you'll have the option to download a sheet that also is you're able to cut those pieces out and like tape them on your kiddos' desks so that they can keep track of their login information.
Brittany, we have one question, and I want to just to
Yes,
support.
I saw it and I'm going to hold it until the end if that's okay with you so
Okay,
that we can get through just the creating adding
okay,
content. Is that okay? So Elaine,
yeah,
I see you and I'm not ignoring you. I just want to get through because we've only got 15 minutes left, but we'll definitely help you with that. So once you've added students, and let me actually show you a second way because you're not always going to be here when you want to add students. So if you go to your dashboard and you select that class or go to that class, which mine was Sandbox 1, remember, I can add students directly from my dashboard. So if I click this link, it's copying that class join link, and then I can go and put it on my learning management system. So there is more than one way to do that. Now I've got to give my students something to do, right? Like they need something to do when they come into my course. So I'm going to click assign course and I am going to customize this recommended course. So, first of all, a default course will be recommended based on the information you gave when you registered. Do you teach multi ages? No worries. You can customize your course. So, what we're going to do is customize this course. Now, you'll see there's this little pencil option and you'll want to give it a name, right? Because I'm going to call it Sandbox 1. This course will be saved in your account and you'll be able to reuse it over and over again. So definitely give it a descriptive name. Click save. You're going to go into our course editing interface. It is very intuitive. And the first thing that I always tell folks is that there's nowhere to click save. What you want to look for when you make those changes. Oh, I haven't made any changes, so maybe that's why. There we go. Changes saved. This green bubble lets me know that I'm good to go. Now, how do I make those changes? Well, if you want to delete something, you just click the X. Easy as that. If you want to add something, you just drag it and drop it. Now, the coolest thing, let me just drag info zones back over, is that if there are supplemental activities that correspond with that lesson or exercise, you can automatically add them to your course simply by clicking yes. So we are trying to already help you build the best course that you can by ensuring that you have absolutely everything that relates to the lesson that you've selected in your course. You can reorder them. And remember, I said if you turn off, I'm sorry, if you turn off, oh goodness, I'm blanking. What is the function?
course
The
lock.
Course lock. Thank you, Justin. If you
Yeah,
turn off course lock, students can access these items in any order. But if course lock is turned on, they're going to have to access these exactly in the order that I have laid out here. So that's one important thing to remember. I've got a green bubble. I'm ready to go. This is all saved and ready for my kiddos. I'm going to go back to Sandbox 1. I do want to tell you that if you have required that your students take the pre assessment, they must do the pre assessment before they complete any lessons. So that's just something to keep in mind. Sometimes we have kiddos come into our class after the first week of school or after we roll out a program. Just be aware that they will still need to do that pre and post test. Um, I am going to go ahead and show you the lesson, and then we'll open it up for questions, beginning with Elaine's question, if that is okay with you all. So you can look at all of our content by going to the content tab, like I just did, and absolutely everything we have in Checkology will be opened unto you. You will see everything there. right? We've got a ton of stuff. And so, what I'm going to show you today is actually one of our foundational lessons. It's called Info Zones, one of my favorites. It's led by Tracy Potts, who is a journalist. And so, I'm just going to click preview. One thing to know is that if you're not signed into Checkology, when you get to, I think it's the third or fourth element, which are these bubbles at the bottom, when you get to like the third or fourth one, it will remind you to log in so that you can see the remainder of the lesson. But as a Checkology user who is logged in, I can access the full lesson or the full mission challenge exercise for any of the resources. So as I said, this is Info Zones. And just to tell you what the interface, about the interface, I told you about these elements here, and this is how our lesson is organized. Each element will correspond to either a video or a formative assessment question. You'll also see that we have a word wall. I don't know about you, but when I taught, word walls were essential. Science is all about vocabulary, and I think news literacy is too. We got to give our students the language to talk about what they're seeing in the information landscape. So if you click on that WW button, it will bring up all of the vocabulary words that are used in our lesson. And students have access to the word wall on any element. So let me show you, I'm going to show you one video and one formative assessment question. Um, excuse me. Let's see. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Let me go back. Sorry about that, everyone. I goofed. All right. I'm going to click play and you'll get to meet Tracy. Here she is.
Did that feel familiar? It's an overwhelming amount of information, isn't it? Hi, I'm Tracy Potts, and I'm a reporter covering national and international news for NBC News here in Washington, D.C. In this lesson, you'll learn how to sift through all that content by using a simple technique we call zoning information. Knowing how to sort through content is a foundational skill of news literacy. In fact, it's a great first step in determining the credibility of information. This step is more important than ever. You and your generation have more information at your fingertips than any other generation in history. Much more. There are now almost 2 billion websites on the internet. Every minute, Instagram users post more than 48,000 new photos. Twitter users share more than 480,000 tweets. And YouTube users watch more than 4 million videos. But much of that information is not reliable because it's unverified, meaning it hasn't been checked for accuracy by an editor or an expert.
So that is our introduction, our students' introduction to the lesson. And as you saw, our lessons are all led by subject matter experts. And we do try very hard to ensure that they are diverse, not just in terms of race and ethnicity, but also in terms of what they do. So although Tracy is a journalist, your students will meet scientists, an editorial cartoonist, a doctor, someone who used to work for the CIA, all sorts of people as they go through their journey of learning news literacy with Checkology. Now,
So
just, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say we have two things. I'll wait till you after you're done with this formative, and then we have like another question.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
so much. So
Mhm.
here is an example of a formative assessment. In this lesson, all of the assessments are multiple choice, like the one that you see. If students select the incorrect answers, they get an opportunity to retry. So we truly are wanting students to learn the content. When they get it correct, they will get a green screen that will allow them to proceed. And so before we open it up to questions, I just want to share two more things. Our two last slides, which are here. Um, just want to give a couple of announcements. And so not only do we have amazing lessons and resources for you and your students, we also have, uh-oh, uh, I apologize. We also have National News Literacy Week coming up. National News Literacy Week is something that we hold every year. This year it is February 3rd through 7th, 2025. We have put together an activity planner for you. We give you something to do with your students every single day, even if you only have a little bit of time, as well as events. And I will be leading both of the webinars that you see on the screen. So I'd love to see you there and have another opportunity to engage with you and interact with you. The very last thing that I have to say before we take questions are that we have some contests going on, and we absolutely love contests here at NLP. Just by attending today, you are entered into a drawing to win NLP goodies. And trust me, these are great pieces of swag. And if you complete just one Checkology lesson with your entire class by February 17th, 2025, you will be entered to win a $100 gift card. So we'd love, love, love to put that gift card in your pocket. So please make sure that you create a class and enroll your students and get started with them as soon as possible. So now we're going to take the questions. Jostin, I am going to pass it to you because I know you had something to say too.
No, for sure. Elaine, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass this off to just someone who works on our back end, just technically, just to make sure that we're giving you the right answer. And so if you could just share your email in the chat, I can grab that. But the follow-up to Patty mentioned that she really loves our resources for National News Literacy Week and wondering, is this accessible to easily, are the lessons accessible and easily input into classes, or do we have to set up each lesson individually?
That is a great question. So you can actually add all of the National News Literacy Week planner classes into a course. So just like I showed you today, just going in, creating an account, and then a class, and then making a course, you can build a custom course yourself. And I know we are just about out of time, but I can actually show you how to do that very quickly. So if we sign in here, once you have created your class, I'm going to go back down to our sandbox class. I'm going to go to view, edit course. From any course that you've added, there will be an option to change the course or customize. So you could customize, which is what I've already showed you, which is how to delete things and move things over, which is one way to get those National News Literacy Week items added. Or you can click change course. You'll see all of the courses that I've created, and there are a lot, I'm warning you. But like I said, your custom courses are your custom courses. They'll stay in your account. Here's the one we made together today. If you go all the way down to the bottom to the green, you can click Get Started to build your own course. You can give it a name, National News Literacy Week 2025. And then you can follow that planner and actually drag each of those things over, Patty. So, for example, if Be Health Informed was in that course guide, you could drag that over. So that is something that you can completely build from the ground up yourself. Are there
Thank you, Brittany.
any? Oh, you're welcome. Yes, it would be a cool if it was a preset. Um, I'll have to check with the team to see if that is in the works for this year's National News Literacy Week. And if not, I'll be sure to share that idea with them as well. Are there any other questions we can answer? Oh, I do have one other thing just to show you, Elaine. You asked about changing your changing account information. So you can change your email, you can change your name, display names, you can change your avatar, your password, all of those options. You could even delete your account, which we don't want you to do. We want you to keep your account. You can do all of that by hovering over on this menu and going to manage account here.
I know we're up on time, but there's one more question.
Absolutely.
Wanted to know, can you collab with teachers at other schools?
You can absolutely collaborate with them, but in terms of adding them as co-teachers, it's that feature is not available, and I do believe it's just to protect students. They would have to be a teacher at your building. Now, if you are an educator who travels building to building and you would like to have multiple accounts associated with multiple buildings, you can do that as well, but you would have to create a new account for each building, if that makes sense, with a different email. If you want extra support on that, please reach out to Jostin or I via email, and we're happy to jump on a Zoom and support you. Any other questions before we end today? We are so thankful that you came to hang out with us today. Sorry that I'm having difficulties with the PowerPoint.
Are good. Thank you, Brittany. And
Thank
once again,
you.
you all have until February the 17th to get those lessons in. We're here to support and super excited that you're here.
Yes, yes, thank you. Yes, Galen. I think is it Galen or Galen? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Yes, the zip code does enable you to collaborate with the other teachers in your building. And it's not just the zip code, right? Like you're going to select the building, but that zip code narrows down our list of schools so you can more easily find your school building to be technical.